everybody. What's going on? I hope you are having an awesome Thursday. Look, just wanted to come and check in with everybody really quick. Today, I was actually scheduled to have my guest on. Her name is Ana Lennyr, but she actually had a conflict in her schedule. Something came up. I know when I came live last time, I let you all know that she is a public figure and she's always speaking and having different things that she actually interacts with different, I guess you would call them clients, and she had a conflict in her schedule for today. So she rescheduled my show today, and she'll actually be on 27th, but that particular show will be at 9 p.m. that night. So I just wanted to kind of come and let everybody know because I was initially scheduled to come on today at 3, then it went to 12. So just scratch it all together. But she will be here. Hopefully nothing else comes up because she's a dynamic speaker. She will be here on I think it's the 27th or something like that, but I will put it up. But she's a really good speaker. So anyway, just want to kind of come and touch bases with you and check in real quick. Also, wanted to just kind of come and ask you a few questions. I saw a couple things yesterday when I was looking at the news. I was just kind of like perplexed about. Now, I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but the director for Black Panther, Ryan Coogler, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He went into the Bank of America to withdraw some money, and just so he didn't bring attention to himself, he had advised them. He slid a note to the teller, and he advised the teller, "Hey, just kind of keep it discreet." And he kind of gave her instructions, but she verified him. He put his PIN number in. He had his card. He did everything that he was supposed to do. And still, do you know they called the popo on him? They called the police. And not only did they call the police, the video that I saw on the news, the one officer, I saw him kind of pull his gun or taser something out, but he, quickly put it back in. And then, but they did handcuff him and they escorted him outside into the police car. Now, what I want to know is why, if he verified, now, granted, let me say this real quick. He was dressed every day. I mean, people don't dress up and have on a suit and tie or dress and a hat or whatever every day if they just going to run an errand and go to the bank and all this and that. And he was dressed, it looks like he had on a sweatsuit or a little short hoodie or something like that. But I mean, he was just chilling, just casual clothes. Well, the teller, they called the police, and she admitted that he did verify and he did everything that he was supposed to do, but she didn't feel comfortable. She didn't feel comfortable. So that's why she alerted the police. And I think he was withdrawing like $12,000. Now, to some people, $12,000 might be a whole lot of money. But for some people, $12,000, not a lot of money. And he had that in his account, obviously. But they escorted this man out, put him in handcuffs, and had to go through all this type of stuff just to ID him. Now, do you think that would have happened if he was Caucasian? I personally don't. I feel as if because he was African American and he wasn't dressed professionally, quote unquote, that they suspected that he may have been up to something. Now, if the rules and the platform sets it where you give them your card, because I have to do the same thing, I'm sure a lot of you do too. You give them your card, you put your PIN number, you have your ID when it's a certain amount of money. If he was able to do that and verified, they should have been able to, if they required, look at his signature and all of that. If he was able to verify all those things, why did they call the police? Me personally, I think it's because he was a black man. I mean, I personally feel that's the reason why they called the police on him. And I don't play the race card because I love all people. Okay. If you're a good person inside and you proving, unless you prove yourself to be a jerk, that's the only time I give you jerk reactions. Other than that, and that's black, white, green, or purple. So I don't play those kind of things. But sometimes, it is what it is. Now, I would tell you, I don't feel if he was that. I feel like if he wasn't black, they wouldn't have done that. I think that was wrong. Very dead wrong. They had no good reason for doing that. It's as if we're not supposed to have that type of money, or they questioned him because he was a black man. He didn't look the part. That's not, people don't have to look a certain way if they can ID themselves. Bank of America, you was all out of order for that. All out of order. But Granted, he said Ryan did say the bank, I guess, met his expectations in I guess satisfying him or whatever about the incident. So they're fine now. But if it were me, I would have been very, very offended, and I would have tried to seek other, measures, because you don't handcuff a person, walk them out of the bank, and it was just totally disrespectful. And if he ID'd himself, he did nothing wrong. That should have never, ever, ever happened. So Bank of America, I need you to take your tellers through some sensitivity training or something like that, because they were totally out of order. I don't know if the teller was black or white or green or purple. I don't know. But whoever that teller was, she was totally out of order. They should have never called the police on him. If he could ID himself and he verified who he was, regardless of whether he slipped the note, the reason he slipped the note is because of the amount of money that he was getting back. So they should have never done that. They were out of order for that. So I'm just saying, Bank of America sensitivity training for your tellers, because that should not happen, and it should not happen again. Okay. Black folks do have money now. So get it all the way together. You were wrong. Okay. So I did want to talk about that because I was irritated, and I was really irritated when I saw the cop pull his gun out. If you have a chance to pull up the news from yesterday, I think it was Fox 5, look at it. You can see him pull his gun out or taser out or whatever it was. The first thing he did. But then he slid it back in there. I saw him. He was out of order as well, because that was no reason. He wasn't being ridiculous. He wasn't being defiant or anything. That was just their automatic thing to pull for their taser or gun. Totally unacceptable. But Ryan, you're a better person than me for forgiving them that easy. So anyway, Bank of America, get it together. Also, I want to kind of talk to you guys about Kanye. What's going on with Kanye? What is going on with Kanye? Now look at him. He's dating a model. I'm sure everybody knows. Her name is Cheney Jones or something like that. She's a model, very pretty lady, very pretty. But why she looks so much like his ex, Kim? What's wrong with you, Kanye? I'm not a big Kanye fan, but I have nothing against him. But I think he needs to get some help, because to me, that's kind of creepy. I've seen pictures where she's dressed like Kim, almost like duplicate outfits, and I would feel real strange if I were Kanye and she was just doing this on her own. For some reason, I feel like Kanye is kind of letting her know, hey, this is the vibe I like. This is what I want you to dress like. The girl had on an all black leather setup on one of the little sites I saw her on. She turned the profile, to show a little booty. It's almost like she's trying to become a Kim. Well, there's only one Kim. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of duplicates and replicas or whatever, but there's only one Kim. So Kanye, I don't know what's going on, because if you felt like you wanted your wife that bad when y'all were together, you should have tried to get some help, because you started probably weirding the girl out, and that's the reason why she had to bounce. So look, I don't know what's going on with Kanye, but Kanye getting someone to look like Kim, dress like Kim, guess what? At the end of the day, she's not Kim. So you need to get it together so she's don't get weirded out for real, and then you have a problem seeing your children. So whatever's going on with you up here, you need to get it together, because as a woman, if I'm dating a man and I see some weird signs like that, I'm out too, because it lets me know you might be crossing the borderline crazy. Okay. So, and every time you see him, he frowned up and looking all mad and crazy on his pictures. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Kanye, please get it together. So I just want to touch on that, because when I saw the girl and I'm like, she looked almost like, if you look at her with one eye closed, you would think she Kim. Let's get it together. Also, I talked to you a few days ago when I spoke and I came live, and I was telling you about Freddie P. And he's the guy from Making the Band that P. Diddy dealt with years ago when he had this big series out, and he had different groups that were trying to make it into the music business. I know all y'all remember that. Well, Freddie P is mad. He is mad. And he said he feel like P. Diddy did him wrong. He feels like his mental issue, he's not stable. And he feel like P. Diddy and what he did is a big part of that. Not to mention, he pissed. He said he tired of seeing puppy kids getting in and out of these nice cars and living it up. And all on social media, and he having a hard time taking care of his kids. So, Puffy, I've heard a lot about this. I'm telling you, you better watch yourself, because from what I'm seeing, this young man don't look like he's got it all the way together, and I would hate for anything to go left. So be careful with him, because he looked a little sketchy, but he's very upset, pissed up with P. Diddy, Puffy, whoever, whatever he going by. So watch yourself, because Freddie P ain't happy right now. He just ain't happy. Also, y'all, tell me what y'all think about the Wendy Williams situation. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You know, she had these different guests coming in to kind of fill her place while she was out ill or whatnot. Right? It's been going on a while. And I understand nobody knows when sick days gonna come. None of us. It can happen to anybody at any time, right? But it's been pretty extensive. But I'm sure in her contract they have some sort of language in there that there's to kind of capture something like this if it happens. Well, honey, you know, Sherri Shepherd is getting her own show. And I think it's going to replace what Wendy's show is. You know what I'm saying? And I will honestly say I was all team Sherri, because when out of different guests they had filling in on the show for Wendy, she was the best. She's a comedy, she's funny. She got that little bounce when she walked. She has the whole vibe. She has experience on talk shows. And when I tell you, I felt like she was the best candidate for the job. Now, I did like Nick Cannon too. He was good too. But out of all of them, the whole crew, I like Sherri. Well, you know that husband of hers, of Wendy's, trying to raise his little head. Now, how he come back in the picture? You made your choice. You left your wife for this woman somewhere. I think the one was out of Carolina or somewhere. I don't know. Wherever she was out of, I don't know. But anyway, you left your wife that loved you dearly and always gave you your props. You left her for this other woman after she had a baby. I think the girl had a little girl baby too. And you left Wendy, right? Wendy started kind of trying to be strong, and she was trying to find a replacement for Kevin. But when your heart is there, your heart is there. There was no man that was going to step in and take the place. I think that's part of her big problem, to be honest, right now. I don't think it's all illness, but that's just me talking. Well, Kevin, I think, is behind this, because they're saying that Wendy, of course, wants her show back. She feel like they fired her. You know, it wasn't fair. She was out sick. And she felt like Sherri, and this is just what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? I haven't talked to Wendy or anything, but Wendy feels like she kind of went behind her back into the show. Well, I, on the other hand, had watched a lot of the shows, and I would tell you, I felt like Sherri just went in there and did what she did. And you know what? She did a really good job. I felt like she can step in and do well on her show. Now, I've been hearing that some of Wendy fans are not going to follow Sherri Shepherd's show. I'm going to follow Sherri, because Sherri, I like what she did when she was on the show. She was good. She was entertaining. She kept you focused. And I will tell you, just doing this podcast, it's difficult. It's difficult. So she had a little funniness to her. She was able to step in on those hot topics and read it like she was supposed to. She kept the audience engaged, and her name, they felt like she was the best one to sit in that chair. Well, Wendy team, they not happy. So they're threatening suing the production company. I think it's what's Debmar Mercury is who's the production company behind her show. So they're thinking about suing. And Kevin, they said, is asking 7 to 10 million, possibly, if he moved forward with the lawsuit. Well, I don't think that you could just sit out indefinitely. I know there's a caveat probably in her contract, you know, if she goes out ill or whatever the case may be. But from what I felt like they tried to save her show for an extremely long time. Most times, if you have a show, your fans want to see you. And if you go out of sight, out of mind, they trying to find out what's the next thing popping. You can't be just, unfortunately, when you sick, people, they gonna miss you. Even in our everyday people like me, you have a job and get sick. They're gonna come to your, if you, Lord forbid, if you pass on, they're gonna come to your funeral. They're gonna send some flowers and some representatives from the company. But shortly after then, your seat gonna be taken. You understand what I'm saying? These people not gonna sit right. They got a company to run. And I'm like, you know, Wendy has fans. You know what I'm saying? Her fans want Wendy. They don't want Sherri. They don't want Nick Cannon. they'll take you as a little, appetizer for a little while, but eventually they want the entree, they want the main course. So if you're not coming back and you're not showing up at the show, I mean, dang, it's been months, Wendy, since you've been gone. It's been months. So I'm all team Wendy. I pray for her health and I want her to recover, but I kind of I'm on the fence here. How about y'all? How about y'all? What you think? I'm on the fence because I feel like the show got to move on. They have sponsors, they have people that pay for sponsorship on that show to be there because Wendy had a certain audience. But dang, Wendy, I don't think it's all her health. I think some of it probably is the depression and she may be on, some sort of drugs or something. I don't know. But whatever it is, she's seeking help for it. And I personally think that they need to just work on getting Wendy strong mentally and not trying to rush her back to that show because she's not going to be able to stay and sustain. And Kevin needs to stay where he at because I feel like him coming back in her life, she may think that's what she wants, but in her heart, she's going to always feel like even though she was the wife for all those years, she's going to always feel second. She's going to always think about the baby mom over there with the little girl that she never had. I'm just saying. So I just personally think Kevin need to stay where he's at and leave Wendy alone so she can get strong and she can move forward and do it. Because Wendy had a whole lot left to give her fans. She wasn't really ready to sit down, but mentally she just wasn't strong enough. So y'all need to leave Wendy alone and y'all need to work on strengthening Wendy and not keep looking what can Wendy do for you guys in the show. But I understand the show had to go on. They had to make a decision. I feel like they were only fair, but I do think if she had a caveat in her particular contract, they're gonna have to pay her some money, especially if it pertains to illness. So good luck. I don't know how this is gonna wash out, but what I will tell you, the show had to make a move. They had to make a decision. And Kevin, you made a move and you made a decision, so you need to stay gone too. Okay? Okay. Also, what else I want to let y'all know? I think that was it. I just want to kind of come and give y'all a little flavor of what's been going on this week and touch bases with you on KurveUncensored Recaps it. Also, y'all know in Atlanta, we got some crazy weather. It's sunny today, but y'all know Saturday gonna be possibly some snow flurries coming down. So dress warm, enjoy, and love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all next week. Wanted to let you know I have a great guest that's going to be in the studio next week. Make sure you have some of your men if they're having a difficult time communicating. The gentleman that I'm going to have on the show, I'll let you know more about him on Monday. But he's going to talk to some of the men and kind of let them know how they can overcome not being able to open up and have that little conversation that we as women need sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I have a great guest next week. And then my girl, like I said, Ana Lennyr, she's gonna come back on the 27th. I look forward to her being on the show at that time. But anyway, want to just kind of give you an update, KurveUncensored Recaps it, baby. And I will see you all soon.